Hi, very warm welcome to the weekend edition of Wellbeing Wisdom. It is a fabulous spring day. Although you can see the snow is melting, we have got another snowstorm coming in tonight, just in case we were getting too used to the sunshine. And I wanted to talk to you very briefly in response to some of your fabulous questions about developing our own personal reality. Now, first, I know that sounds completely counterintuitive because we all agree on what objective reality is. The screen in front of you, the table, the cup of coffee, it's all demonstrable, it's all measurable. But the way that you are perceiving the world is just the same as the rest of us, extremely limited. What do I mean? Well, your conscious mind that is probably picking up about 40 bits of data per second has what seems to be a complete picture of reality. You see your senses are functioning and giving you constant feedback about what you're experiencing. Fair enough. But your unconscious is processing about 40 million bits of data per second. So clearly your unconscious is aware of an enormous amount of information that is invisible to your conscious mind. So we live largely in a little bubble of our own perception. We think it's all there is, but from the research we know that we're getting a tiny fraction of what is really available. The way that you and I filter that information is based on a very, very simple mechanism, and it's really our emotions. It's the way that we feel, the way we use our emotional energy that enables the filters within our brain to decide what we see, what we notice, what we perceive. Now, if we're only picking up an incredibly narrow slice of all the information that's flowing around us, there's a possibility that we're missing out on some extraordinary opportunities. Now, when we talk about positive thinking and we begin to perhaps create a more positive set of expectations, a brighter, clearer vision of what the future could represent, this emotional engagement with the possibilities that our imagination is creating shifts the filter. Let me say that again. The filtration system, the reticular activator system in your brain, can be adjusted to pick up a different range of information from the data that your senses are processing right now. And that's one of the great joys of taking a more positive perspective on life. You can change the filter. Now, it can appear sometimes supernatural or even miraculous, simply because the filter re-engages with all the information that's available and picks up opportunities, events, all kinds of relevant information that corresponds with the vision, the emotional engagement you're developing with the present and with the future. Now, that might seem like a very complex process, but in simple terms, as we've always known, we tend to see the world as a reflection or even an extension of what's going on within our emotional base. That's why two people can be in the same place at the same time and have very, very different recollections of what took place. They're just using different filters. But let's remember that the information is already out there. We're just blithely unaware of what is really available. This is not really miraculous, it's just a question of adjusting the filter to pick up the information that is more relevant to your happiness, your well-being, your health, your success, whatever it is you're trying to achieve. So my suggestion this weekend is that if we are prepared to develop perhaps a slightly different view of how the world works, of what is possible for us as human beings and as individuals, there is a very high probability that your personal filtration system will start to scan for data that supports your view of what's really possible. And that's where interesting changes happen. The potential is already there. We're surrounded by it 24/7. You're just changing the frequency calibration of your perception to tune in to the data that's absolutely relevant for you as a human being. I'd love to know what you think about this. There's some interesting research about it. It's in some ways a new field of exploration in terms of how the human consciousness really works. But there are plenty of people around who will testify to its astonishing efficiency. I'd love to know what you think about it. Feel free to share your ideas with me. The good news is the snow is not due to arrive for at least another 6 or 7 hours. We're enjoying this beautiful gap in the sunshine. to use this opportunity to wish you a wonderful weekend, and just to say I look forward to being back with you again very soon.